Y'all, they are coming to take your swimming pool away. This is Grant Rothberg with Rothberg Realty Group, powered by Keller Williams Preferred here in the greater Houston area. And I'm going to talk to you about one of the most exciting things in the world, inflation. So you need to know this information, know what should you do this year and next year. So let's take a look at the most exciting thing you can possibly imagine, graphs. Okay, so this graph right here is on the Federal Reserve website. And this is inflation going back to 1971, back to the end of the Vietnam War. And you can see it got crazy ugly in the 70s, in the early 80s, and since then it's been pretty well under control. But I want to show you something interesting. When we overlay mortgage interest rates on top of this inflation curve, red is the mortgage rates, and blue is inflation, the rate of inflation per year. You see, these things are not identical, but they are pretty stinking close. So I'm not an economist, and I'm not a prophet, and I can't look into a crystal ball and tell you exactly what's going to happen. But if you look at this chart, if we see inflation, it seems to make sense that we're going to see mortgage interest rates rise pretty significantly in the next year or two if inflation is here to stay, truly. Now, what all this means for you is your house becomes more expensive. Whatever you're trying to buy is going to take more dollars for you to purchase. And I want to show you the consequence of that. So take a look at this. This is another incredible fun with numbers. I mean, that's why you're here. You came for the knowledge and you're staying for the numbers. So let's pretend that you're trying to buy a house for $350,000. You're putting 20% down, and our current interest rate is about 3%. So your property taxes, 2.7%, about $1,800 a year for homeowners insurance. That brings us to a total monthly payment of about $2,100. But if inflation takes hold and we see mortgage interest rates rise even just a little bit to something like 5%, nothing that's crazy, but still kind of historically in line, if we see something like 5% rise, check out what happens to your payment. It jumps from $2,100 to $2,400 per month. So let's assume that you were approved for a maximum debt to income of $2,100 per month. You now don't qualify to buy this house anymore. They've taken away your swimming pool. So if you only qualify for $2,100 a month, check out what happens to how much house you can afford. You can't buy a house for $350,000. You now are shopping for houses that cost you $300,000. You have lost $50,000 worth of purchasing power just by waiting and seeing inflation take hold and seeing the interest rates rise on your mortgage. So here's the principle on this. If you are even remotely thinking that now is the time for you to downsize, now is the time for you to buy a house that has the study or the swimming pool, or now it's time for you to move to the neighborhood you like, or to buy the dream home, or to buy your first home, if you're thinking the market is too crazy and chaotic for you, so you're going to wait until it gets easier, you are running a huge risk of losing a tremendous amount of purchasing power. Instead of buying a house in the neighborhood you want, you're shopping for a neighborhood that's a step or two below. Instead of buying one that's the right size for you, you're buying something that's smaller or needs more work, or you're missing out on your swimming pool. You simply cannot afford to wait if inflation is going to be a factor for us. So if you have any questions about this or anything else, please do message me. We want to help you to make sure the right decisions are made by you. We want to give you the right advice because this stuff matters and it can cost you a ton of money.